Daniel chapter 5, starting in verse 1. Belshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords, 1,000, and drank wine before the 1,000. Okay, whatever. They're having a big party. Big party. Verse 2. Belshazzar, while he tasted the wine, he had a big party for 1,000 of his lords, and while he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his forefather, Nebuchadnezzar, had taken out of the temple which was in Jerusalem, that the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines might drink therein. What is it about kings and leaders that do stuff like this? Psalms chapter 2, verse 2 says, verse 1 and 2, why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Isn't that a weird scripture? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord. This is all in capital letters, against Yahweh, against Jehovah, King of Israel, and King of the Christians. Rulers and the kings take counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. The kings and rulers. What is it with kings and rulers? What is it? It's weird. Verse 4, he that sits in the heavens, which is Yahweh, he that sits in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord, Yahweh, Jehovah, shall have them in derision. It's an odd phenomenon. And you get heathen rulers together, and before you know it, they're talking worldly stuff and exalting themselves and putting down the Jews, the Christians, Yahweh, Jehovah. It's kind of the way it is, and they serve a different God. It's the God of this world. So here we have Belshazzar, who is probably the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. Probably not his son, but his grandson, which is still his son. And he's sitting on his throne or whatever, having a big party. 1,000 of his lords and his wives and concubines. This is a big deal. He's showing off his greatness, if you will. Okay, back to Daniel chapter 5, verse 3. After he commanded this, then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of God, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes, his wives, and his concubines drank out of them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. Not very smart. So the Almighty is not weaker now. Just because the people of Israel are captive in the empire of Babylon, where Belshazzar is the emperor, just because they're captive there doesn't mean that he or his God is more powerful than Yahweh. And Yahweh takes it personal, especially in the publicly blaspheming and